Morning, everyone. This is Yunxia Huang, and my Chinese name is Yunxia Huang. So thanks a lot for participating in my thesis debate today. Before start, let me take 30 seconds to briefly introduce myself. Also, my undergrad and master's degree was major in accounting, and I started my career in 2008. And in the past, I've worked as financial analyst, finance manager, and finance director. In the past 2 years, I was employed by GE Healthcare China, and I was hired as a pharmaceutical diagnosis sector finance director. And last month, I was internally transferred to US, and now I'm US and Canada opinion leader for GE Healthcare US. So that's all for me. Thank you. And today my thesis topic is free cash flow method for evaluating enterprise value of biomedical company, analyze of value driver and creation tests. This is the case study based on array medicine, and my thesis supervisor is Professor Marco Hammond. So that's about the topic. And today the debate will be conducted in five parts. The first will be the background and the significance, then the objective, innovation, and the challenges, followed by the method and technologies, and then result discussion, also the future outlook and research directions. So the first is the background. The background, actually, why I chose the Henry company and also this industry as my research objective is because linked to my job. Henry company is my company's biggest competitor. They are accounted for their market #1 in any dimensions in the market. So that's the overall background, and then about this study's background is first is about the China's pharmaceutical industry. The industry is constantly expanding its scale, and also government standardized its operation and also accelerating the shuffle. But the risk and the challenges coexisted for a long time. So for the evaluation perspective, firstly, the merger and acquisition between the enterprise urgently needed to be consistent with the value assessment method of the industry. Second is to avoid being merged, the enterprise also have to consider the factors that have significant impact on the company's value creation, and also need to find out the critical path of the value creation. And the significance-wise can summarize into two. The first is to enrich the theory and method in the China domestic enterprise valuation. And the second is verify the feasibility and applicability of the improved model. So that's the two significance. And the research objective, there are main three objectives here. The first is based on the DCF model and improve shortcomings of the traditional evaluation model, verify the feasibility and the applicability of the improved model based on the case company, and also enrich the theory and the method in the field of the enterprise value evaluation. The second is find ways to enhance the corporate value and provide reference and basis for maximizing corporate value. The third is use the modified DFS discounted free cash flow model to evaluate its corporate value, improve the inherent flaws of the evaluation method, more reasonably predict the value of the target companies, and provide a reasonable valuation reference method and the basis for the pharmaceutical companies' merger and acquisition, also the investment. So in general, through the improvement on the pharmaceutical value evaluation method in the pharmaceutical industries, may help to find or develop more effective tools or analyze models, and to facilitate the industry investors to make a better decision, investment decision. So that's the objective. And next is about the innovation and the challenges. Two innovations can be summarized. The first is based on the DCF model. The dynamic discount rate is introduced, and the discount rate is calculated by predicting the company's future capital structure and the capital costs to make up for the shortcomings of static discount rate. Through the sensitive analysis, identify the key factors affecting the value creation of the case company and deduct the dilemmas it faced in the value driving process, and also the corresponding value creation paths. 5 key challenges here. The first is difficulty in measuring the integration effect and the integrity of individual assets of the enterprise. Then lack of the similar comparable companies and the relevant data. The third is difficult to determine discounting sensitively of the forecasting process. The fourth is difficult to determine the volatility of the underlying assets. The last one is there are too many adjustment items, and the calculation process is quite complicated and cumbersome. Next is the method of discounted free cash flow model. Discounted free cash flow method can be conducted in 4 steps. The first is conduct an in-depth study of the basic situation, business strategies, and the future development prospects of the assessed object. The second step is measure the company's free cash flow during the forecast period. And the third is to calculate the discount rate. The last step is use the discount rate to discount the free cash flow in the 2 stages, and then obtain the enterprise whole value. The next step is about the capital structure. Has a premise is the calculation of discount rate involves 3 parameters. First is the cost of the debt capital, cost of equity capital, and the capital structure. But the value of the first 2 generally depend on the fluctuation of capital market and also the changes in risks. So my study here only focuses on improve the calculation of capital structure. The forecasting process of capital structure is as follows. The first is based on the current operation status and historical annual report. Predict the total annual finance of the company during the forecast period, and then forecast the annual debt capital rising in the future. The third is subtract the amount of capital raised from the total amount raised each year to get the approximate amount of equity capital. And then the last is to calculate the different equity capital and debt capital ratio each year to determine the annual dynamic capital structure. And then is the analyze method of value driving factors. From a free cash flow perspective, the driver of enterprise value are divided into business growth drivers and also return risk drivers. Combined with the major parameters of the discounted free cash flow evaluation model, the summarize and supplement of the value drivers can be concluded as the first free cash flow factors are 8 parts. First is operating income, operating costs, sales expenses, management costs, income tax, account receivables, investment in fixed assets and construction in progress, also the operating profit after tax. And in the capital cost factors, there are 2. The first is capital structure, equity capital cost. The last is the sustainable factors. This only rely on the linked to the sustainable growth rate. The above are the theoretical part. The next three pages will briefly introduce the studied case. The first is the studied case is one of the China pharmaceutical company. So the industry backgrounds currently we have three summaries. The first is China's pharmaceutical industry has gradually transitioned from labor test to now technology test stage, and the industry is developing very well, and the impact of the last 3 years epidemic is gradually reduced actually. And the second is government supervision is becoming increasingly professional, and the supervision mechanism is more in line with the current product research and development. Also, is more sales-oriented. And the industry's reshuffle is accelerating. The scale of merger and acquisition continues to expand, and the companies continue to increase its investment in research and development. Also, in the context of expanding, opening up, foreign capital continues to pour in, and the industry investment enthusiasm will continue. So, about the case company, first, this is a well-known provider of oncology drugs, surgical drugs, also interventional imaging solution in China. And also, this company is the largest pharmaceutical company in China pharma industry. So this is actually although this is a local company, but currently no foreign pharma companies can compete her in. So they are dominating the market actually. Okay, the next page is the study summary of the dynamic discounted free cash flow of the case company. Through the analysis and the prediction of free cash flow and the discount rate, also forecast rate, the corporate value of the case company can be obtained. Compare the evaluated value with the market value at the time of the assessment. We can see here the overall value from the forecast period value plus the subsequent value evaluation. So the overall value here we can conclude it is 3,235 billion RMB. And also at the assessed time, the equity value published is the 2,931 billion RMB. So compare the evaluated value with the market value at the time. 5 main reasons for the difference can be concluded as the first, the advancement of nationwide centralized procurement and also medical insurance negotiation has led to a significant decrease in the company's value, also in their revenue income. The second is from the investor's perspective, the market value is lower than estimated value. And also the hidden profit from the research expenditures led to the market value being lower than the estimated value. The fourth is the high risk in pharma industry led to market value being lower than the estimation. The last one is from the observation, also from the data trending. We can see here the China's capital market has strong short-term speculative properties. Okay. Next is the analysis of the value-driving factors. Based on the sensitive analysis of various parameters and the changes in historical annual growth rate, the main drivers can be concluded as operating income, operating costs, sales costs, management expenses, also sustainable growth rate, and R&D expenditures. According to the value-driven analysis, I have some explanation here. We only set the range of the change at 10 because per the couple rounds simulation, when they change it, if other parameters remain unchanged, and only pick one single parameter to change it in like 10%, and then the whole company's value will change significantly. So after the simulation and calculation, as I said, the 10% as the range of the change for the sensitive testing. So according to the value-driven analysis, the path of Henry Medicine's value creation can be summarized as six items here. The first is operating income is overly dependent on the generic drugs, and the pace of their overseas business expansion is quite slow. The third is the cost of procurement is relatively high, and the high sales expenditure cost and management cost. Actually, per the past 10 years, from their financial report, their sales and management expense even accounted for about 35% of their total revenue. So this percentage is accounted for the industry high risk. The fifth is the lack of sustainable growth capacity. And the last one is the research and development risk and costs continue to increase are the main difficulties in their value driving process. So based on the above analysis, we have come up with 7 management recommendations, among which the first 2 are the top urgent and important, should be their top priority. The first is they should promote the transition product system of original drugs plus improved products and also generics. The second is they need to consider the cooperate with the foreign companies and also establish their own brand's reputation in the overseas market. Actually, currently, Henry only established a couple R&D centers in Western countries like the US and in Europe, but their sales team is quite still weak currently. So these 2 are the top priority from my study. And then from the feasibility side, they also need to enhance the self-sufficiency of raw materials and optimize the procurement process. Now they have very heavy the procurement cost. Also significantly rely on the supplier on their raw materials vendor. The next is they need to establish online digital marketing communication channel and a professional marketing team. This way can help them to reduce the marketing cost. And the last three items is moderate, but also should be taken into the management team's consideration and improve the quality of management and establish a capital structure with reasonable allocation, control R&D cost, and also improve the efficiency, break through the difficulties of limitation. So the summaries can be, we have 3 summaries here. The first is when evaluating the value of the China-listed pharma companies, free cash flow discount model in the income approach can be combined with the market approach. The second is from the case company study, it is we can say that it is effective and feasible to use the FS model to conduct value and valuation research on pharmaceutical listed companies. The last is through the analysis of value driving factors, the main factors that factor the value changes of pharmaceutical companies can be found out. And around these driving factors, find out difficulties faced in the process of value creation and ways to increase future free cash flow, and then dig out ways to enhance enterprise value of the company. So for the future, all of the above only on what we see and also from the finance perspective. But in the future, external environment and also investors' opinion also needed to incorporate into the valuation study. For the external environment, the hot topic recently is the geography, politics, macroeconomic conditions, also Chinese government's regulation policies, and then the pharmaceutical companies, the double-weighted saw is the national volume-based purchase. The last is also currently we see lots of new entrants into the industry. This is a very important factor we needed to take into consideration. Like just take the contrast media for example. Previously only 3 or 5 players in the market, but last year or this year, till the first half of this year, we already have 12 players in the industry. And from the investors' perspective, firstly, the investors' psychological and emotional fluctuation will definitely impact the company's valuation. And then their political belief, the risk concern of loss of the core personnel, and then also the innovation drugs R&D, and also the drug products, their application approval always face lots of pressure and risks. So that's all for my defense today, and thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you for your presentation.